All right, y'all. So I'm back. So let's just discuss this whole thing. So recently there was a live that took place on one of my favorite YouTube channels a few years ago that doesn't really do as much as it used to. Was We Need to Talk with my man Allen Obi, and he had a live on the 9th with Courtney Michelle, who I also haven't seen in a while. So it's good to see both of them interacting with each other. And the topic was FBAs versus not FBAs. And one of the problems that I seem to discover with this conversation, it wasn't nothing bad, you know what I'm saying? It's just the the reality of the situation being addressed but kind of being glossed over at the same time. And Obi being Nigerian, he was born in Nigeria and he moved over here. So he's not really a foundational black American, but he does give incredible insight on problems that are in the black community. So I've always kind of gave Obi a pass because he always came at it with a nuanced perspective instead of talking shit, which is a much different perspective from, say, the people in his country. And that's just where I'm coming with it. Now, with Courtney Michelle, I think she kind of fizzled out of the conversation. I think she was just tired and kind of spaced out within the last hour. But a lot of these issues that all of a sudden everyone seems to have with the African American community is just based off the fact that we just don't give a fuck anymore. And I'm just coming at it just like that. And one of my issues that I have is with this conversation of why I disown ADOS, why I disown the Africans. Well, let's be honest, and as Courtney Michelle said, y'all talk too much shit about us. We've been shit on by our own people for decades. For decades at this point, and it doesn't make any sense. Why would we keep supporting y'all and loving on y'all, and y'all just gonna keep shitting on us in the first place? And Obi even admitted that when he before he moved over here to America, he was told not to hang with African Americans. That is a very common cultural consensus with the Nigerian community to not fuck with African Americans. And it's just ain't nothing more blatantly honest than that, right? And my problem with that is that they have this white news anchor issue of which is understandable, where the black community is hyper violent criminals and this that and the third. And in the 90s I could be like, okay, I kind of see what they're talking about. We was on some bullshit in the 90s. In the 2000s, sure. In the 2010s was kind of starting to go down. By now, when you got 1 in 3 black men are felons, it's going down. It used to be 1 in 5. Now it's 1 in 3. One is too many. But at the end of the day, it's going down and it's been trending down. And that's something that needs to be acknowledged. But when we had to go into the root and the nitty gritty of this conversation, you have a lot of African Americans who have decided we ain't fucking with our own, even from the motherland at this point. It ain't just y'all, it's a delineation of our culture needs to stick with us. Even if I have my issues with black culture as a whole, there are some things I don't want to gatekeep. They can take that and throw it out the door. But for the most part, it does need to happen. African Americans have been the most open and accepting people when it came to everything, even when it came to people who don't like us. And this all comes down to what's going on right now with Trump and the deportations and this and the third. And obviously, there are still some black people who refuse to understand why, but there's enough black people that get it to why this is a conversation. That's beautiful. Us standing our ground, making our shit 10 toes down on the ground. We don't give a fuck. But to the nitty gritty of it, Obi was saying, the experience that the Nigerians or even people from the diaspora in general have over here with African Americans. That we, African booty scratcher, and a lot of other terms that kind of came out of our mouths towards them. Now, in my opinion, is this true? In my experience as a 2000s kid, yeah, we did that. But let's be honest, I got called African booty scratcher, and I'm not even African. I'm just dark skinned. You know what I'm saying? So it just, was what it was. And before black women try to say, yeah, I was called that, please stop. It happened to the men too, dark skin, whatever, just stop. And the thing is, us saying that one term to y'all calling us the Akata and don't hang with them when you go over there and look down on us and talking all this shit and we don't have this and we don't have that and we don't have this and we don't have that. I'm completely okay with black people, especially African Americans, delineating from our own now because y'all have come over here and talked way too much shit about us. I think that's the part Obi was kind of getting, but not really trying to, not trying to put together what Courtney was saying. What she was saying, like, yo, we used to embrace African culture, and we did. If you go back into the 80s, 1989, Queen Latifah's All Hail the Queen album, she got Africa on that album. She got the African continent on that album, front and center on the cover with her in her African gear, standing on 10 toes. You look at Tribe Called Quest, the colors of their little characters be black, red, and green. Pan African colors. We represent our people. Hip hop used to stand for something, and it used to stand for that kind of thing. You go into a lot of the hip hop now, they're not even trying to do all that shit because where has that really gotten us? So I think it's insane to think that we never tried to embrace African. We did. Black people used to wear dashikis and all that back in the day, and wear the crazy colors and all that that represented Africa because that was our culture. We thought that was us. But then when y'all come over here and y'all interact with us, y'all try to make it seem like y'all don't even fuck with us. Y'all don't want to talk to us. How dare we talk to them? The Akata and all that other goofy shit. So I understand now where black people are like, yo, we have been getting trashed on and spit on by our own people. It's bad enough we get it from white people, Asian people, Hispanic people, and Indian people, but to get it from our own is just out of pocket. And if we were to come together, then we can make a difference. But of course, the economy and even the global economy to some degree benefits off of black dysfunction. And Courtney Michelle was basically saying when it comes to black culture, everybody want to talk like us, everybody want to walk like us, everybody want to wear our clothes, they want to have our style, they want the swag, they want this, that, and the third, but they don't want to understand black people's experience. Like she said, and I quote, hopefully correctly, y'all like our rhythm, but y'all don't like our blues. And that is an absolute fact. And I refuse to let anybody come over here and talk shit about African Americans when y'all ain't got no skin in the game. You ain't got no skin in the game. Y'all have not experienced remotely what African Americans have dealt with from start to now. And that's just on what it is. African Americans have had to deal with slavery and then another 100 years of Jim Crow, the fucking denial of the GI Bill, denial of Social Security for 20 years. What else? Redlining, COINTELPRO, assassination of our own damn leaders, segregated schools, dirty fountains. You got to go to the back of the bus. This is just all engraved into that shit. Then you got to think black kids was getting fed to alligators for hunting back in the day. And you got to add into the fact that black towns were burnt down. Black business districts, all that shit burned to the ground. All because a white person felt some type of way. And no other community has dealt with this. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I don't care what the Asian people say because they ain't never had nothing like this. I don't care what the Hispanics got to say because they ain't had nothing like this. I don't want to hear it. Literal laws getting put into place specifically aimed at African Americans. That's why you had signs called "No Blacks Allowed." I ain't never seen no sign say "No Latinos Allowed." So yeah, black people have been putting up with the most shit from start to finish, and for Africans to come over here off the continent saying that stuff out their mouths about African Americans, calling us the katas and cotton pickers and this, that, and the third is disrespectful. And y'all need to put some respect on the struggles that African Americans have had here before we want to undelineate. Y'all gonna have to learn some damn respect. And the Civil Rights Act was pretty much a staple, in my opinion, of just like, hey, we gonna give y'all some rights, but we don't really bang with y'all like that. And in fact, we're going to do affirmative action. And it's not really for y'all, it's really for white women. We're going to slide white women in there so we can keep that shit to ourselves. And the same thing with DEI, right? So I'm looking at all this and I'm just saying, and they're still trying to sneakily do what they got to do to stab African Americans in the back and twist the knife. And it's just black people ain't having it no more. We ain't having it no more. If we can't at least get some respect, we're going to gatekeep our culture. As I've said, I love my people, but I hate the culture to a degree. I hate the glamorization of baby mamas. I hate the glamorization of we're just not going to be together. I hate the glamorization and the worshiping of street culture. And apparently, with Gen Z, that's going out the door. Apparently, Gen Z says it's lame. Street culture ain't really no lucrativity. There's no lucrativeness in street culture. And yeah, they're right. There is no lucrative in street culture. That's why people who run the streets are still in the same position they are 20 years later. Whereas maybe back in the 80s, you probably could run some game and run some numbers and get off the street and, kind of chill and get a head start. Can't do that no more. Can't do it no more. So if that's the case, and this is my thing that I think is crazy, is we created blues, we created hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the contributions to black people is just so never appreciated. And this is why I did love the BET Awards and the Source Awards, but look what they turned into. And it's just like, well, damn, what else we got now? What do we have now? And then you have a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? We have some black people getting into cinema. I'm glad Ryan Coogler's blown up, but again, that's one black director out of a bunch that are running around that can't get no steam. But that's because Ryan Coogler was lucky enough to direct a Marvel movie. You know what I'm saying? So it's we're getting there. We're getting there. I know there's like a black studio right now, like OBE just dropped their first movie. It's like a Christmas movie. I'm glad to see some shit like that for black people. I ain't gonna lie. It's like the trajectory of black people has gone up, and if I remember correctly, on Daily Rapper Crew, I think Eli said that African Americans are the wealthiest black people in the world. I don't know how true that is when Africa got gold and diamonds and you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but it could be true as far as like money, as far as like tangible dollar per value. It's probably true. So on the standpoint of just not giving African Americans our roses, it's bad enough America don't want to do it. It's bad enough nobody else want to do it. It's bad enough for some reason we don't really want to do it sometimes. The people that come from overseas that represent us, that look like us, who are supposed to be with us, don't want to align with us, and they don't want to give us our roses for what we've put up with since we got stuffed on boats and chains and put over here. Everything that you see wrong with the black community is stemmed back to a good amount of what happened to us being here. And take it a step further, I'll say that we have a part to play in that too, but y'all could have had upstanding African Americans and y'all chose to turn us into nightmares. And not even all of us are like this, right? And Chuck D said it in a way that I kind of understand, where he was saying, you know, he was talking to some white guy or white girl or something, and she said she liked hip hop. And his immediate response was, well, do you like black people? And they was like, well, what does that got to do with anything? He said it has everything to do with it, because you like something that comes out of a group of people and respect that thing that comes out of a group of people more than the people themselves. And I said, yep, and that's exactly what the Africans do. That's exactly what other races of people. That's why Fat Joe and Big Pun was out here rapping, but they ain't really fuck with us like that. Fat Joe done said some shit recently, and I did a video on that. I was like, man, sit down and shut up, yo. Sit down and shut up. And that's where my problem lies. It's like everybody just got to have something to say about African Americans. That's why this whole No Kings protest shit, or why black people ain't out here protesting and this, that, and the third. Why the fuck should we? We've been the canaries in the coal mine for decades. We've been telling y'all what America was about, and y'all just, oh man, it's just that black people are lazy, man. Black people don't know how to do what they got to do and get off their ass and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's why you get sent back home, dickhead. That's what you get for running your mouth. That's what you get for running your mouth. And then on top of that, it's like everybody was like, "Oh, well, black people's behavior. What you mean about our behavior?" This just happened on Lapeef Network recently with Pearl Goofy ass. That black dude, she was with must have broke her heart bad or something, because she been on some bullshit. And Elisophical had to check her ass, talking about some, yo, what you mean our behavior? Our behavior has never been a contradiction to how we've been treated. We were at our best, quote unquote, behaved, and our shit still got burnt down. We still got lynched. We still got hung. We still got raped. And a bunch of other things lined up, and a bunch of other things came into place. When the black community was at its quote unquote most behaved, quote unquote, it did not correlate to how we were treated. We were still treated badly. And that is a fact. That is a straight fact. Ain't nothing more factual than that. So if y'all want to ask why African Americans are delineating, it's literally from everything. It's not just one person. It's not just white people. It's everybody, because everybody got something to say about African Americans. What was the Dominican people on TikTok? Is that I know black papi. Yeah, being black is somewhat of a damn curse word, because Black Lives Matter. Like Chuck D said again, it wasn't the same interview, but he said, Black Lives Matter surprised me because it used the term black, which has been treated as a curse word for however many years at this point. This was before 2020. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, what are we going to do about this whole situation? Well, we've tried everything. We've told people, we've stood up, we've had politicians say it, we've had rappers say it, we've had it in our movies, and people still don't get it, nor do they want to. So it's like, at this point, fuck it. We ain't telling y'all nothing no more. Whatever happens, happens. Trump becoming the president is exactly what needed to happen for the mask to come off. Point blank, period. The mask has finally come off, and now y'all got to read what y'all sow when it comes to this shit. And on another thing that shows how black people get treated, when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, you know what I mean? It wasn't even on the strength that he was assassinated. It was the strength of, it was an excuse to go treat black people some type of way. It was an excuse. It was just like, oh, well, we're going to go to HBCUs because black people didn't care that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. We sure didn't, because all of he said out his mouth was a bunch of anti-black rhetoric. Same thing with Brandon Tatum's goof ass. You know what I'm saying? And I do understand Brandon Tatum to some degree. Like his speech in talking about Dr. Ben Carson, I 100% agree with him. Dr. Ben Carson is one of the most brilliant people in the last half century to a century, and I agree with that 10 out of 10. He absolutely is, and he deserves the respect he gets. He deserves the respect. He deserves more respect than most people do. To be the first person to do an open surgery on a fetus as a black man, yeah, you absolutely deserve my respect. God damn, it's killing me. But it's getting to the point where it's just everybody's so comfortable talking shit about African Americans, and black people are starting to G check everything. And I'm sorry, Obi, but the FBA conversation is just, y'all got to take a piece of this too, because like I said, Nigerians, I had a John, she was Nigerian, and her dad hated the fact that she was dating me because I wasn't Nigerian, I was an African American, I was the Akata. You don't do that. You don't date the Akata. And unfortunately, they didn't match because she was born here and he was born over there. So she was more of American. That just happened to be a Nigerian girl, but her dad was Nigerian from the land, and she was Nigerian born here. So she had a lot of American shit built into her brain. And my question is, and this is something that should have been said, was, if y'all so much better than us, why y'all can't get y'all country together? Y'all so much better than African Americans. Everybody is so much better than African Americans. Everybody's just this, that, and the third. So why do y'all leave y'all countries instead of getting y'all countries together? Hmm? Why y'all can't get y'all cartels under control? Why y'all can't get the Yakuza under control? Why y'all can't get any of these other gang affiliations or these drug smugglings and the sex trafficking and all that shit under control? Y'all so much better than us. Y'all country should be beautifully free. Y'all country should be A1, where y'all should never want to leave y'all countries to come here. All y'all shit should be A1. But no, that's not what's happening. Y'all bring y'all asses over here. So tell me what it is. And to go on to Courtney's point, Courtney said something, and like I said, she nailed it on here. She was like, "Yo, Marcus Garvey came over here. They didn't want Marcus Garvey over there in Jamaica, and he came over here, and we accepted him. We accepted Marcus Garvey, and I still love Marcus Garvey to this day. And what happened? We got shit on after that too." He was like, she was just basically breaking it down. Whenever African Americans do something, it's a problem. Nobody takes this over to Africa. No one takes this to Haiti. No one takes it to Jamaica. No one takes it to all these other countries. But when it's African Americans, everybody got something to say. So yeah, it's like African Americans. We used to try to embrace our culture because that gave us some pride. You know what I'm saying? We were like, yeah, we from Golden Diamonds, nigga. We from Golden Diamonds. Put some respect on our name, but on the same strength, the people that we tried to represent, to tell them where we come from and who we love and represent, y'all don't want nothing to do with us. Y'all think y'all better than us. Y'all think y'all over us. So Obi, I'm sorry, but y'all gonna have to eat this, man. Y'all gonna have to eat this. And I'm trying to be respectful to your side because I get what you're saying. What you're saying, those prideful Nigerians aren't like real Nigerians, or and apparently Nigeria is a fucked up country according to Obi. I've never been there. I can't speak on it. So let's just leave that what it is. But as far as I'm concerned, African Americans are doing the one thing we should have done at least 20 years ago. We should have segregated our damn selves. Because no matter where we are in the fucking world, no matter what we're doing, we are the target that they want to take out. We are the target worth shooting every single time. And that shit need to be just nipped in the bud. So I'm gonna let y'all know that like this conversation was beautiful. Like it was a great conversation. I love Obi. I love Courtney Michelle. I love both of y'all. But at the same time, Courtney Michelle said everything that needed to be said with a little bit missing. Just not addressing things that African Americans are going through that Africans didn't. Like I just went down earlier in the video, and that's what it shut that whole shit down. She brought up the reparations conversation. He didn't think it was going to happen. She said, "Oh, it can." And we gonna fight to get it. And I said we should fight to get it. They fucking owe us. Y'all did everything y'all could to disenfranchise African Americans. Specifically, y'all owe us. I'm not even saying the money. I'm gonna get into my little video about what African Americans need regarding reparations at some point down the line. It's not gonna be too far away. But, you know, I'm trying to get this content out while I can. And it just needs to be addressed. Now, what the black and brown correlation, which could have been us with Africans or us with Hispanic people, everybody thought they was over us, but now everybody's getting a piece of the bullshit, and that's exactly how the cookie crumbles. So, you know what I mean. With that being said, though, I'm gonna get up out of here. Y'all here with the Black Intellectual. It's good to be back. Um, Plan on dropping some content for y'all. And like, comment, subscribe for more. Let me know how y'all feel down below. For real, let me know because this conversation needs to get widespread. Um, I'm out.